In the deep corner of the galaxy far from Earth, there was a planet called Dros 9. The sky was always gray, the air full of dust and the ground covered with machines and broken metal. This planet was not a home. It was a prison. Aliens ruled. Dros 9, tall, cold, and cruel. They had many slaves here, humans who were stolen from Earth years ago. One of them was a young woman. Her name didn't exist anymore. She was called Subject-43. She wore gray clothes like all the other slaves. She had a barcode on her arm. Every morning, loud alarms would wake her. Every night she would fall on the cold floor, too tired to dream. Subject 43 didn't speak much. She had no friends, no memories, only pain, silence, and questions in her heart. Who was I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? But the aliens didn't care. To them, she was just another tool. She worked in the deep mines under Dros 9, digging strange purple crystals that powered alien weapons. If she slowed down, the guards would shock her. If she spoke too much, they would hit her. She was strong but broken inside. One day, something strange happened. There was an explosion near the edge of the mine. Alarms screamed. Red lights flashed. Guards ran toward the noise. Subject 43 looked up. This was not normal. Then she saw something impossible. Humans, but not slaves. These humans wore black armor. They had glowing blue weapons. They moved fast, fought hard. The aliens started to fall. One of the armored humans entered the tunnel where Subject 43 was working. She froze. Was this a dream? The man took off his helmet. He had brown hair, a scar near his eye, and a voice full of power. He looked straight at her. You, he said, breathing hard. You're free now. Come with me. Subject 43 stared at him. She didn't move, she didn't speak. Free? What did that mean? No one ever said that to her. Was this a trick? The man stepped closer. My name is Captain Jace Rowan. I'm from Earth, and You're not just a number. Her heart jumped. That name, Earth, why did it feel familiar? Sirens grew louder. More aliens were coming. Jace held out his hand. We don't have much time. I'm here to take you home. Subject 43 looked at his hand, then at the guards behind him. They were aliens, dead. For the first time, someone had fought for her. For the first time. Someone looked at her like she mattered. Slowly, her fingers touched his. He smiled. Good, let's go. They ran through the tunnel. Explosions shook the ground. Other slaves followed them. Some were crying. Some just stared. When they reached the surface, Subject 43 saw the sky again, but this time there was a ship. Big, beautiful silver, shining like a star. A human ship. Jace led them inside. The door closed behind them. Lights turned on. Warm air, clean walls. A voice spoke from the ship. Captain Rowan, evacuation complete. He nodded, then looked at Subject 43. You don't remember anything, do you? He asked gently. She shook her head. I don't even know my name. Jace's face became serious. He looked into her eyes and said, Your name is Ava. You were taken from Earth 5 years ago. You were more than just someone? You were my wife. Her breath stopped. The room went silent. She stared at him, shocked. Wife, a word she hadn't heard in years. A word filled with love, warmth. Tears fell from her eyes. She didn't even know why. I don't remember, she whispered. Jace reached out, touched her hand. It's okay. We'll get your memories back. But what matters is you're not a slave anymore. And in that moment, for the first time in years, Ava smiled, but deep in the galaxy, someone else was watching. An alien leader, angry, watching the ship escape. He turned to his men and said, Find her. She knows too much. The stars outside the ship looked peaceful. But inside Ava's heart, there was a storm. She sat on a soft bed in the medical room, wearing clean clothes for the first time in years. Her hair was washed. Her wounds were treated. Her barcode was gone, but she still didn't know who she really was. Her eyes followed Captain Jace Rowan as he walked in. He looked at her not like a rescuer, but like a man who had lost something and just found it again. You're safe now, he said softly. But his voice trembled just a little. Ava looked down Why do you keep looking at me like that? Jace took a breath, stepped closer, and said the words again slowly, "Because you're my wife." Ava froze. The word echoed in her mind. She had heard it before back on the alien planet, but she thought it was a mistake. Now, hearing it again, her chest tightened. She laughed a little, but it wasn't happy. "I don't even know your name. I don't remember anything. How can I be your wife?" Jay sat across from her, his voice turned quiet. "You were taken from Earth 5 years ago. We thought you were dead. I searched everywhere, every signal, every system, until we found Draws 9. Ava shook her head. "I'm not the person you remember. I'm just, Subject 43. "No," Jay said firmly. "That name was forced on you, but your real name is Ava Lennox Rowan. You were a scientist, a brilliant one. You helped build defenses against the alien empire. That's why they took you." "Why would they take a scientist?" she asked. "Because you knew how to fight them," he replied. "But you were more than a weapon to them. They broke your mind, erased your past, but they couldn't erase your soul. I knew you were still alive somewhere." Ava looked away. Her hands were shaking. "I don't feel like your wife. I don't feel like a scientist. I feel empty." "You're not," Jay said gently. And then he did something unexpected. He placed a small silver pendant in her hand, a tiny chain with a ring, her wedding ring. "You always wore it under your lab coat." "Even during the war," he said. Ava stared at it. Her fingers closed around it. Something flickered in her memory. A warm smile, laughter, a kiss on the forehead, but it disappeared like smoke. I saw something," she whispered. Jace's eyes lit up. "That's a start. The memories are still there, Ava. We just need to unlock them." "But how?" He stood and looked out the window. "There's an AI system Miko hidden in an old research base on the moon of Zarel. You built it to protect Earth secrets. It may have a backup of your brain scan. It could help bring your mind back." Before Ava could respond, the ship shook violently. An alarm screamed. "Captain, we're under attack." A voice called from the intercom. Jace ran to the command deck. Ava followed through the glass window. They saw 3 alien fighter ships approaching. "Looks like someone doesn't want us to reach Zarel," Jace said. Ava's heart raced. She had been a slave for years, weak, silent, but now the fire in her chest was real. "I want to help," she said suddenly. "You're still recovering," Jace replied. "Doesn't matter," Ava said. "I may not remember who I am, but I won't run." Jace looked at her surprised. Then he handed her a tablet. "You designed this ship's defense system," he said. "Let's see if your hands remember what your mind forgot." Ava stared at the tablet. It was complex, but her fingers moved with strange confidence. Missiles locked. Shields activated. Lasers fired. 1 alien fighter exploded. Jace grinned. "Looks like you're waking up." Ava felt something rise inside her. Power, memory, not fully. Not yet. But she was no longer just Subject 43. She was Ava, and something deep inside her was ready to fight. As the ship escaped the battle and jumped into hyperspace, Ava sat back in the seat, the pendant still in her hand, and for the first time, she didn't feel like a slave anymore, but far across space. In a dark command room, a figure watched her on a screen. General VORN. Half human, half traitor. He narrowed his eyes. "If she remembers everything, we're all dead." The stars looked different through her eyes now. Ava stood quietly in the dark hallway of the ship, staring out the window. She no longer wore the gray slave uniform. Her new suit fit her body like it belonged there. It was made for someone important, but she still didn't feel important. "Do you know why the aliens didn't kill you?" Jace asked from behind her. She turned slowly. "Because they wanted to break me?" Jace shook his head. "No, because they needed you." Ava frowned. "Needed me for what?" He walked to the control table and activated a screen. A hologram of a planet appeared, green, blue, shining. But parts of it were turning black. Cities were marked with red dots. "This is Earth. What's left of it?" Ava's chest tightened. "You helped build Project Nova," Jace said. A planetary defense system powered by artificial intelligence. You designed the final upgrade. But before it could be activated, you were taken. She stepped forward, eyes wide. I don't remember building anything like that. You did, he said quietly. And now the aliens are coming back stronger than before. We need your knowledge, Ava. The original code is locked inside your mind. Ava placed her hand on the table, breathing hard. So all this time, I wasn't just a slave. I was the weapon they feared. You were the hope they tried to erase. A silence filled the room. Ava looked down at her hands. The same hands that once held tools. Blueprints, power, now they just trembled with fear. I don't know if I can be her again, she whispered. Jace stepped closer. That version of you is still inside, buried, not gone. Just then, the ship's AI spoke. Approaching destination, Moon Zyrel. Prepare for landing. Ava stared at the screen. Moon Zyrel. A quiet, forgotten place. But inside it, hidden deep underground, was Eco, the artificial mind she had built years ago. If anything could help her unlock her past, it was that. Scene change. Inside Moon Zyrel facility, the old base smelled of metal and dust. Lights flickered. Wires hung from the ceiling like dead vines. But as they entered the main chamber, the room came to life. Blue lights glowed. A soft voice echoed in the air. Welcome, Dr. Ava Lennox. Voice pattern recognized. Ava froze. Something inside her responded to the sound, not fear. Familiarity. I remember that voice, she whispered. I gave it a personality, Jace nodded. Go ahead, talk to it. Ava stepped forward. Echo, do you remember me? Yes, the AI answered calmly. You are my creator. You designed me to protect Earth and yourself. A screen lit up. Images flashed. Ava in a lab, laughing. Ava speaking at a meeting. Ava building a neural code module. She gasped. I remember this. My hands did this. You hid part of your memory code in me, the AI continued. For protection. Shall I begin restoration? Jace looked at her. It's your choice. Ava swallowed hard, then nodded. Begin. Scene shift. Outside the base, far above the surface, hidden in a cloaked ship, danger waited. General Vorn watched the signal from Moon Zyrel. He clenched his jaw. She found it. He turned to his alien soldiers. Send the strike team, now. Back at the base I processed the memory unlock, Ava cried out. Her head felt like it was burning. Flashes rushed through her brain too fast to control. She saw war, screaming, data, Jace, blood, blueprints, laughter, a kiss, betrayal, a shadowy man's face. She fell to her knees. Jace caught her. Ava, are you okay? Her eyes opened, wide, focused. Her voice was calm and cold. I remember the project. I remember the code. And I remember who betrayed me. Who? Jace asked. She stood up slowly. General Vorn, he was human once. But he made a deal with the aliens. He gave them everything. Suddenly the AI spoke fast. Warning, unidentified ships approaching. Attack probability 95%. Jace grabbed his gun. They found us. Ava looked at him, eyes full of fire. Then let's show them I'm not a number anymore. She picked up a weapon from the wall one. She designed years ago. Her fingers fit perfectly. No fear. Only purpose. Ava didn't blink. Not when the walls shook. Not when the alarms screamed. Not even when the lights above them flickered into darkness. Because for the first time in years, she remembered. Not everything. Not yet, but enough. Enough to know who she was. Enough to know who the enemy was. Enough to know that she would never run again. Outside the base, the sky cracked with fire. Alien dropships were falling from orbit like metal rain. Soldiers in black armor spread across the surface, silent, fast, deadly. Inside. Captain Jace Rowan watched the radar screen with cold eyes. We're surrounded, he said. He turned to Ava. Can you walk? I can fight, she replied. Her voice was different now. Not the voice of a slave. It was the voice of Dr. Ava Lennox, the architect of Earth's forgotten defenses. The woman who once challenged an empire with her mind. She touched her temple. The data transfer from Eco was still uploading into her brain. Memories, formulas, blueprints, secrets, some hurt, some healed. All were hers. The final piece of her identity was still locked, but the key was close. Flashback sequence, 3 years earlier. She stood in a white lab. Jace was there, younger, smiling. On a screen behind him, a red warning. Project. NOVA compromised. Spy suspected. Jace's voice echoed in the memory. They'll come for you, Ava. We have to hide the memory code. Her voice in the past was firm. I'll store part of it in Echo, the rest. Inside me, the memory flickered, a flash of pain, a face. Sharp eyes, a scar. General VORN. Ava gasped as the flash ended. She held the side of her head. I saw him, Vorn. He was the one who gave me to them. Jace looked stunned. We had suspicions, but never proof. Now we have it, she said. He wanted Project Nova's secrets. That's why they kept me alive. The ship rocked again. The ground trembled. We're out of time, Jace said. Can you move the code? Ava turned to the AI panel. Yes, I'll upload it to the shuttle's core and protect it with a living lock-my-own brainwave pattern. Jace hesitated. That's risky, if something happens to you. She looked at him with steady eyes. I've already been erased once. I won't let them take Earth too. Scene shift. Surface level. Combat begins. Outside the base. Explosions. Painted the sky orange. Human resistance fighters met alien soldiers in brutal combat. Laser fire cut the dust. Bodies dropped. The ground burned, but from the smoke walked Ava, calm and focused. Not in fear, in purpose. Behind her, Jace led the squad. But everyone followed Ava's lead. They could feel something had changed in her. She wasn't a survivor anymore. She was a strategist. She reached the defense turret system and typed faster than any soldier could follow. Target lock, shield reboot. Auto-fire engaged. Fall back behind the ridge, she ordered. Now. A giant alien mech stomped toward them. Ava looked up. I designed this, she whispered. And I know its weakness. She grabbed a portable EMP launcher from the rack. Jace raised an eyebrow. You sure you remember how to use that? She didn't answer. She just aimed, fired direct hit. The mech dropped, twitching, sparks flying. The soldiers cheered. Jace just smiled. His wife was back, but high above the battlefield in a black command ship. General Vorn watched silently. She's remembering faster than we thought, he muttered. A cloaked figure stepped beside him. Should we strike the base again? Vorn narrowed his eyes. No, let her run, let her fight. Let her think she's winning. He leaned forward, eyes cold. She has the memory code now. But she doesn't know the truth. What truth? The alien asked. Vorn smiled. That she didn't just build the defense system. She also built the weapon that will destroy Earth, if she activates it. Back at the shuttle inside the ship, Ava stared at a glowing orb. The full code had been restored. Every part, every choice, every secret. The defense system. The failsafe. And something else. A dark line of code hidden inside the rest. What is this? She whispered. She didn't build that part, or did she? Her hands began to shake again, not from fear, but from a new question. What did they make her do? Before she forgot everything. Ava stared at the line of code glowing on the screen. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Slow, deep, wrong. She leaned closer, her face pale. This wasn't part of her original defense program. It was something buried inside, like a virus. Jace, she called, her voice thin. He stepped in, still wiping blood from his arm after the last fight. What is it? Her hand pointed. To the screen, this line of code? It's not mine. I didn't write this. Jace's eyes narrowed. What does it do? Ava swallowed hard. It doesn't protect Earth, it targets it. Silence fell between them like a heavy wall. Jace took a step closer. You're saying it turns Project Nova into a weapon? Yes, Ava whispered. And the activation key is my brainwave? Flashback fragment inside her restored memory, a cold lab. Bright lights, pain, straps around her head. A voice, calm, human, fake. We need to adjust her memory. Keep her mind smart, but make her loyal to us. The face leaned in, scar on the cheek. Familiar eyes. General VORN. Her voice in the memory. Screamed, "You're human! Why are you doing this?" His answer, "Humanity was weak. I gave it power. You're the price." Back to the present, Ava sat down slowly, shaking. "They didn't just erase my memory. They reprogrammed me. To betray Earth." Jace stood still, his jaw tight. "You didn't know that code was hidden?" Ava looked up at him, eyes shining with fear and guilt. "But what if I had activated it? I nearly uploaded the full program. I nearly destroyed everything." He knelt beside her. "But you didn't because you remembered who you were." "No, Jace," she said. "I remembered who I was, but I don't know what they turned me into." Scene change, enemy command ship. General Vorn stood before a screen showing Ava and Jace inside the ship. "She's found it." An alien officer said, "She knows." Vorn didn't blink. "She was always going to find it. The question is, what will she do now?" The alien asked, "Why keep her alive if she's a threat?" Vorn turned slowly. "Because she's the only one who can finish the job. If we kill her, Earth lives. If she doubts herself, Earth dies by her own hands." Back on the Resistance ship, Ava walked into the war room. All eyes turned to her. Jace stood beside her, but let her speak. "I created Project Nova to save Earth," she began. "But the aliens and their human traitor used my mind to poison it." The room murmured. "I found a line of code that turns our shield into a weapon. A signal that will destroy Earth's defense satellites, and I am the key." An older soldier stepped forward. "Then we can't let you near the system. You're a danger." Ava didn't flinch. "I agree." Jace looked at her sharply. "Ava, no," she said, raising a hand. "They turned me into a weapon. I need to prove I can turn back." A personal conflict moment. Ava and Jace alone. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Ava stood with her. Arms crossed, Jace stepped up behind her. "You're not a danger to me," he said gently. "I'm a danger to everyone," she replied. "You came back to us," he said. "You fought, you saved lives. You remembered love." She turned slowly. "Then tell me this, Jace, if the last part of the code activates when I reach Earth, would you still let me go home?" He hesitated. She nodded slowly. "That's what I thought." Plot shift, a choice must be made, later Eco's AI confirmed. The truth. The final piece of the kill code is activated when Ava's ship connects to Earth's relay system. Once she lands, countdown begins. Ava stood. "I'll go alone." "I'll disconnect the code inside the system before it activates." Jace stared at her. "They'll be waiting. It's a trap." "I know," she said, "but I'm the one they used. I'm the one who has to end it." Ending hook twist incoming. As she suited up for the final mission, Ava looked in the mirror. She no longer saw a prisoner, not even a soldier. She saw something else. A reckoning. But unknown to her, inside the system's hidden layers, one last secret waited. A second voice. Not from aliens. Not from Vorm, but from herself. A backup personality, created long ago. One she never told anyone about, and it whispered silently, "If I fail, you must finish what I couldn't." The Earth looked peaceful from orbit. Blue oceans, green lands, cloudy skies, but Ava knew better. That silence below was only the calm before the storm. She stood inside her small landing pod, alone, armored. Armed. Behind her, a memory chip, the real Project Nova, the clean version. Inside her mind, the virus, the trap, the last piece of code waiting to wake up. And ahead of her, the final war, voice recording. Ava, pre-launch message. "If you find this message and I fail, know this, I was never just a prisoner, never just a wife. I was a fighter. I chose to walk into fire so no one else would have to." Scene shift, Resistance base. Jace stood at the command center, watching her ship descend. He clenched his fists. She told him to stay behind. She made him promise, but he had already broken that promise. Behind him, a stealth strike team stood ready. "On my mark," he said. "We go in after her. No matter what." Scene change, Earth Defense Corps facility. Ava's pod landed near the entrance of the Defense Corps. It used to be her lab. Now. It was a tomb, cold, dusty, full of shadows. She stepped inside. The walls recognized her presence. Lights flickered. On. Welcome back, Dr. Lennox, the system said. Each word triggered the countdown, unknown to Ava. The virus had started breathing. She reaches the core terminal. Ava connected the memory chip. The clean version of Project Nova began uploading. She tapped into the main control. Data flowed like a storm. Screens lit up. Old passwords matched. Everything was going right. Until the room turned red. Warning, unauthorized signal detected. Kill code activated. Ava froze. No, she whispered. I blocked this. I rewrote the lines. And then a voice echoed in the room. Hello again, Ava. She turned. General Vorn stepped out of the shadows, flanked by 2 alien guards. He hadn't aged. His eyes were colder now. Still, fighting your programming, I see, he said with a smirk. Ava raised her weapon. This ends here. Oh, I agree, he said calmly. But tell me, are you sure the code didn't change you? Are you sure you're still you? Fight breaks out, Ava. VS, guards, Ava fired first. Sharp, precise, no hesitation. 1 alien fell. Then the second, but Vorn moved too fast, enhanced. He grabbed Ava, slammed her against the console. Do you even know what you're protecting? He hissed. Earth? The same world that let you be taken? She headbutted him, hard, blood spilled. His grin vanished. I'm not saving the Earth, she growled. I'm saving the people I love, and I'm saving who I used to be. Twist. Final memory unlocks mid-fight. Suddenly, pain burned inside her skull. The last memory unlocked, a hidden message. From herself, if you're seeing this, then I failed to block the code. You must do what I couldn't, overload the system. Burn the virus with me if needed. Don't let them use you again. Ava's eyes welled with tears. She had always known this might be her last battle, but now she accepted it. J Center's reinforcements arrive, just as Vorn prepared to strike again. The wall exploded. Jace stormed in, gun blazing, his squad behind him. Get away from my wife! He shouted. The blast threw Vorn back. Jace rushed to. Ava, you okay? No, she whispered, but I know what to do. She turned to the control panel. I'm going to destroy the entire core, but you'll be caught in the blast. I was already gone, Jace, she said softly. Now I get to choose how I end. Climax, final choice. Vorn tried to escape, but Ava activated the lockdown. You lose, she said, facing him one last time. You wanted to use me to kill Earth, but I'm using myself to save it. She turned to Jace. Go, now you have to live for both of us. Jace stared at her, his lips trembled. He nodded once. Then he ran. Explosion, Ava's final stand. The last thing she saw was the sunrise breaking through the windows. Warm, bright, then light, heat, silence, scene shift, aftermath. Weeks later, Earth was safe. The Defense Corps was gone. So was Vorn? So was Ava. Jace stood in a garden. He planted a small tree. At its base, a plaque, Ava Lennox Rowan. She remembered, she resisted, she rose. And in the wind, it almost sounded like her voice whispered, I'm not just a memory, I'm a beginning. 6 months later, the galaxy had changed, the war was over. The skies were quiet, the alien empire fractured. Their leaders scattered. Earth survived, but peace had come with a cost. Scene, quiet Earth garden, early morning. Captain Jace Rowan sat on a bench beneath a tree. The leaves above him were young, bright green, reaching toward the sunlight. This tree had no name, but the plaque at its base did. Ava Lennox Rowan. Wife, warrior, whisper of the future. Jace ran his hand over the engraving. She was gone. But every day it felt like she was still here, just out of reach. In the wind, in the starlight. In the silence between breaths, scene shift, new resistance, science lab, deep underground, a lab had been rebuilt clean, bright, safe. In its center, a new eye system pulsed with soft blue light. Her name was Nova, built from the fragments of Ava's original mind. Jace stood beside it. A technician gave him a quiet nod. We finished the final patch. She's ready. Jace took a breath. Start. The personality core, he said. The lights flickered. A soft, familiar voice spoke. Hello, Jace. He closed his eyes. His throat tightened. It was her. Not exactly, not perfectly. But something real enough to matter. Flashback fragment found in the core debris before the core exploded. Ava had encoded a memory crystal and launched it into orbit. It held her voice, her thoughts, her final message, and it had landed. Days later, in a quiet field on Earth, Jace had found it himself. And when he heard her voice again, he had cried, not in pain, but in happiness, because part of her chose to live. Scene, memorial ceremony. Jace walked onto a stage. Soldiers, scientists, citizens stood together, waiting. Behind him, a monument, steel and glass shaped like wings. It shimmered like starlight. He spoke slowly. She was taken, broken, used. But she rose again, not for revenge, but for hope for all of us. He paused. She gave her life not because she had to, but because she chose to be more than what they made her. The crowd stood silent, moved. Then from the front row a small girl stepped forward, brown eyes. Quiet. Strength. She held a folded cloth Ava scarf. She placed it at the base of the monument and whispered, "Thank you." Scene, Jace alone, talking to Nova. Later that night, Jace returned to the lab. The AI screen glowed softly. "You're still awake?" she asked. He smiled. "You sound just like her." "Because she taught me how to think." He stepped closer. "I miss her," he said. There was silence. Then the AI responded, "She misses you too. She left something for you." A hidden file opened. A video. Ava, smiling, hair in a braid. Calm and clear. Final message. Ava's voice. "Jace, if you're watching this, it means I didn't come back. But don't cry for me. I made my choice, and I made it for you, for all of us." She looked down, then back up. "I was afraid I'd die a number, a prisoner, but in the end, you reminded me who I was. Not just a scientist, not just a fighter." She placed her hand over her heart. "I was loved. I was yours, and when you called me wife, I remembered everything. I cried, not because I was sad. I cried because I was home." Closing scene, a new beginning. Outside, dawn broke again. Jace stood under the tree. A new generation. Trained nearby, young minds, free voices. Bright futures. Ava was gone, but her legacy had just begun, because somewhere in the stars, a girl once called Subject 43 had become something more, not a tool, not a weapon, a symbol, a spark, a soul. N. When the world spoke her name now, it did not whisper it in chains. It shouted in freedom.